Chairman, School Advisory Committee, Mr. Stay Yangfen, Principal, Whitley Secondary School, Mr. Keith Tan, Vice Principal, Whitley Secondary School, teachers, pupils, and parents. In a few moments, the national flag will be brought in, followed by the school flag. The national flag was first used as a symbol of statehood when Singapore gained internal self-government from the British in 1959. It was retained as the national flag when Singapore became independent in 1965. On the flag, red symbolizes universal brotherhood and equality of men, while white signifies pervading in everlasting purity and virtue. The crescent represents a rising young nation, and the stars embody the nation's 5 ideals of democracy, peace, progress, justice, and equality. Please remain standing while the flag is being brought in as a sign of respect for the national flag. School, attention.
Kumpulan baju-baju dari kanan, jalan pahala, jalan. Yes, Mr.
We will sing the national anthem as the flags are being raised. As a mark of respect, follow the national flag with your eyes as it is being raised, and also remember what the colors, the crescent, and the stars signify. Our national flag and our national anthem are symbols of our independence and nationhood. As we sing our national anthem with one voice, we unite as one people, one nation, one Singapore.
Guys, go back to the front. Go back.
School, our national anthem.
Singapore,
School, please remain standing. We will now go through the recollections. This narration briefly explains the stages that Singapore went through to achieve independence and nationhood. Please refer to the recollection sheet that your form teachers will be distributing to you or have already distributed. If you don't have a copy, try to share. You are advised to respond to the recollections at the appropriate time. Right, I'll give you the signal, but please also follow what is being said and what is being shared with you. Think about the independence of our nation. Okay, once you're ready, please settle down. We'll begin soon. All right? Our recollections. There was a time not long ago when other flags flew in Singapore. The British flag in colonial rule and the Japanese flag in war. There was no freedom, no justice when our forefathers stepped ashore. Life was a struggle, bitter and hard, and families were hungry and poor. They spoke a dozen different tongues, though their dreams were all the same. But their hopes for a better life were lost when war and invasion came. Response:
They had no rights, they had no say, and they longed to be free one day.
After the war, we called for change, for the right to decide our fate. Some of us wanted democracy, others a communist state. Riots and killings in our streets, years of hate and fear. People said we'd never survive as independence drew near. When self-rule came, we took a vote and joined Malaysia, merged as one. But even friends disagree sometimes, and more trouble had soon begun. The response:
Our happiness was not to be until our country could be free.
August 9, 1965. We were out of Malaysia alone. Against all odds, we had to build a nation of our own. We've come this far by ourselves, one people from many lands. Our forefathers paid the price for us. Now, the future is in our hands. This is our home where we belong, and our flag flies high and free. But let's not take for granted what we have will always be. The response:
We pledge to keep our nation free with justice and equality.
Next, let us express our feelings as Singaporeans by placing our right fists over our hearts and saying the pledge together. School, attention.
The pledge. We, the citizens of Singapore, pledge ourselves as one united people, regardless of race, language, or religion, to build a democratic society based on justice and equality, so as to achieve happiness, prosperity, and progress for our nation.
School, please be seated. Principal, Mrs. Tay, to read the National Day Message 2013. Mrs. Tay, please.
Right, good morning, Mr. John Yap, Chairman, School Advisory Committee, parents, teachers, Whitleyans. This year, we celebrate 48 years of Singapore's independence. We have made much progress together as a people and as a nation. We are a relatively young nation compared to other nations, but we should reflect on the story of our nation's birth and developments. The theme for this year's celebration Many Stories, One Singapore, allows us to share stories of significant events that make us who we are today. These stories woven together make a unique One Singapore. 10 years ago, we battled SARS as a nation. It was a difficult period for us, but the story of how Singaporeans from all walks of life came together to support one another is something that we can all be proud of. We remember Dr. Alexander Chow, who rushed back from Los Angeles while on vacation with his wife. A few of his colleagues at the Singapore General Hospital had already fallen to the SARS virus, and he was the only surgeon left in his team who could be on duty. He was infected while working at the hospital and died as one of the healthcare workers who sacrificed their lives in the fight against SARS. Such commitment to serve the common good reminds us that we are a big family that takes care of one another. When Hotel New World collapsed in 1986, rescuers worked round the clock for 4 days to save those trapped in the rubble. Shops nearby fed the rescue teams for free. Citizens volunteered in the rescue efforts. 17 were saved. The nation mourned with the families of the 33 who died. The public and the organizations donated more than 1.5 million to their families. More recently, in June this year, Singapore experienced serious haze pollution. Many of us were encouraged by stories of Singaporeans helping one another. Some brought N95 masks back from overseas to distribute to neighbors. Others opened their homes to strangers. As we can see, these are many examples of Singaporeans who make a difference to others. Generation after generation, this community or kampong spirit continues to bind us together as one people. Let us take some time this National Day to reflect on the stories that touch our hearts and forge our Singapore spirit. Very often, simple acts of service inspire others and bring about the change that we want to see in society. I encourage you to contribute your own stories to the Singapore Memory Project and go on to create new and exciting stories. By making a difference in your own ways, together these stories reflect our Singapore story, a collection of things, both big and small, which have gone towards shaping the Singapore we know and are proud of.